What's up, Guardians? Profane here. Thanks for checking out the video. Starting tomorrow, Guardians will now be able to attune specific exotic class item perks, which should make it a lot easier to farm for some of those hard-to-get combinations. We're also getting a number of sandbox changes and exotic reworks that will have a major impact on build crafting during the new Revenant episode. Suffice it to say, we'll be seeing a big focus towards stasis abilities, but there's quite a few advantages that Void and Arc energies will be receiving because of the new Baron Slayer artifact. With that in mind, we're going to be covering some of the best exotic class item combinations that you should be going after in this new episode. We'll be looking at 3 of the most powerful combinations on each of the 3 classes. And we start with Warlock, where we have an amazing combination of the Spirit of Osmiomancy and Verities, giving you increased grenade uptime and increased grenade damage. Even with a slight nerf to the effective range and speed of Cold Snap grenades, the Osmiomancy will continue to thrive throughout Revenant, especially its Spirit, since it opens you up to be able to use Vortex and Storm grenades and still get that bonus grenade energy. The Spirit of Verity will see an increase in its overall performance, as its stacking damage bonus will now start at a 40% bonus, maxing out at a 100% increase in grenade damage. Vortex grenades will be an extremely powerful option during Revenant, as they'll synergize with power from Pain and Supernova to grant you Devour, create Void Breaches, and give you the added benefit of applying weakening debuffs against enemies, and that's going to make this exotic combination even more powerful. The next powerful combination that we'll talk about includes the Spirit of Necrotic, with either the Spirit of Syntheseps or Spirit of the Claw. Honestly, I find better performance out of the Spirit of Claw, especially when using the Incinerator Snap and Song of Flame, as it'll give us a nearly infinite supply of ignitions. Spirit of Necrotic will cause our melee attacks to inflict poisoning damage, so with bonus melee charges, we'll be able to effectively spread more poison across the battlefield, adding to the scorch and ignitions that our Incinerator Snaps are already causing, which is going to increase our overall damage output during damage phases, and it's going to increase our effectiveness when it comes to crowd control. And the final exotic combination for Warlocks that we'll talk about today will be the Star Eater's Scale, with either the Spirit of Apotheosis or Spirit of Inmost Light. The nerf to the damage bonus that Star Eaters grants only affects Nova Bomb, and it's only reducing it by 12%, so this is still going to be an extremely powerful option to maximize your damage output whenever using Needle Storm, Song of Flame, or Nova Bomb. With Conductive Cosmic Energy granting Void and Arc abilities increased damage, using Nova Bomb or Storm Trance will be a great idea throughout Revenant. And when we pair that up with the Spirit of Apotheosis, we're increasing our damage output and crowd control capabilities even further, as we'll have a brief window of opportunity to spam our melee and grenade abilities after casting our super. Alternatively, the Heart of Inmost Light would continuously chain bonus energy between all 3 of our abilities, which would help us charge up our Transcendency and our super energy much faster. And with that, we have 3 amazing combinations that Warlocks can utilize throughout this new episode. If there are any standout combinations that you prefer that we didn't mention, then be sure to let us know what those are down in the comments. Moving on, we have our Titan class, which will be seeing several changes that affect the way that barricades perform. There's also going to be some changes to the unbreakable aspect, which are going to align perfectly with the use of an exotic class item that features the Spirit of the Bear, as those unbreakable shields will now generate bonus super energy and bonus grenade energy, and that's going to pair up very nicely with the Spirit of Armentarium, which grants a bonus grenade charge, giving you the ability to cast those unbreakable shields much more often. Alternatively, the Spirit of Star Eaters would be a great choice here, since you are generating bonus super energy whenever deflecting damage with those shields. Just keep in mind that Twilight Arsenal will be seeing a 26% decrease whenever used with Star Eaters. The next powerful combination that Titans have comes in the form of the Spirit of Syntheseps, which grants a huge bonus in melee damage, and that works out very nicely when running a Consecration build. Between artifact mods like Hail the Storm and Brain Freeze, and prismatic fragments like Facet of Ruin and Facet of Balance, Consecration builds are going to go hard in Revenant, so giving those an increase in damage is only logical.
Logical.
To optimize on our ability uptime, we would want to pair this up with Heart of Inmost Light, but to give our melees more bang for their buck, the Spirit of Severance would create bonus explosions on each Consecration final blow, increasing our effectiveness against large groups of enemies. And the final exotic combination for Titans that we'll discuss today is the Spirit of the Eternal Warrior and the Spirit of Scar. Eternal Warrior grants a ×4 weapon surge that matches your super's energy type, allowing you to mow through enemy forces much more effectively. After casting your super, you get this damage bonus, and it lasts for 30 seconds, which would greatly increase your damage output during damage phases. Every time you land a final blow with a weapon that matches your super, you're creating restoration for you and nearby allies, which is an invaluable benefit in a lot of in-game content. Alternatively, we could use the Spirit of Star Eaters, which would synergize nicely since the Eternal Warrior focuses around super use, but for the increased team support and survivability, the Spirit of Scars is a much better option. And with that, we turn our attention to the Hunter class, where we have quite a few great exotic combinations, which has made it really difficult to narrow down into just 3, but I'll do my best. We start with the Spirit of Renewal, with the Spirit of Certarachnes. Dusk-filled grenades will become much more effective in Revenant, thanks to the new artifact mods like Hail the Storm and Brain Freeze. And by adding in Certarachnes, you'll gain Woven Mail, giving you a 40% bonus in damage resistance every time you throw a grenade. With mods like Wind Chill providing you with additional frost armor, this could give you a serious advantage when it comes to surviving in-game content. Because of mods like Conductive Cosmic Energy and Served Cold, it would also be advantageous to run a mixture of Void and Stasis abilities and weapons, and use the Spirit of Renewal with the Spirit of Gerfalcons. Our next exotic combination features the Spirit of Galanor with the Spirit of Star Eaters. This combination is all about spamming overpowered supers, as you'll generate up to 50% bonus super energy by defeating enemies with your super, with Star Eaters providing as much as a 70% increase to the damage of your super. For optimal damage, you'll want to use Golden Gun, but Silence and Squall and Silk Strike will make great options when handling large groups of enemies. With Conductive Cosmic Energy granting Void and Arc abilities increased damage against slowed and frozen enemies, Storm's Edge and Tether will also be very strong options during Revenant. And with that, we move on to our final exotic combination for Hunters, where we have the Spirit of the Liar and Spirit of Caliban. Spirit of Liar gives our combination blow a 200% increase in damage whenever cross counter is active. And by adding in Spirit of Caliban, our powered melee final blows will trigger solar ignitions. So by adding in aspects like Winter Shroud, we can easily cause enemies to become slowed and frozen. And by using Facet of Ruin, Conductive Cosmic Energy, and Hail the Storm, we'll be able to inflict a lot more damage with those never-ending ignitions. This is an aggressive build that will have you right up in the face of your enemies, so having aspects like Facet of Protection will be paramount. And by adding in the Served Cold artifact mod, we'll be able to keep our melee and class abilities at maximum uptime, so that we can effectively combo spam our combination blow and Winter Shroud dodge. And there you have it, 9 amazing exotic class item combinations that will go hard in Revenant. Even with a new attunement process, the method of obtaining exotic class items remains the same. For the very first class item, you'll need to complete the Dual Destiny mission, and from then on out, you'll get 2 drops on your very first run each week, with 1 guaranteed drop thereafter. You can also obtain these by opening chests anywhere on the Pale Heart, and by purchasing them from Xur whenever he's got them in his inventory. With that said, I wish you all the best in luck in farming these exotic combinations during Revenant. If we didn't mention your favorite combination of exotic perks, then be sure to let us know what those are down in the comments below. Thank you as always for checking out the video. If you enjoyed and found it helpful, then be sure to hit that like button below, along with the subscribe button if you're new. Both are greatly appreciated and both really do help support the channel. If you're a new Light Guardian just starting your journey, or a battle-hardened veteran just looking for a new place to call home, then be sure to check out the Discord link that's down in the description and join one of the greatest communities in all of Destiny. If you need help putting together a great in-game build for Revenant, then be sure to check out my Mobalytics link, which is also down in the description, where you'll be able to find a ton of great builds for each class. But until next time, Guardians, this has been Profane, wishing you all some happy hunting.